Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tea Time. I'm glad you're joining in today. It is going to be a fun day. Let me know that you're hopping on. I'm going to check on comments here in a minute, say hi to some people, but I am super excited to introduce our kit for this month. It is the last Tuesday of the month, which I cannot believe. Where has the time gone? Can't believe we're coming into September, but the last Tuesday of every month is our kit release traditionally. So that is what's happening today. If you have checked your email or the blog or the fan page or our Facebook page, then maybe you've already seen what is happening on our kit this month, and I can't wait to share it all with you. I'm going to walk through the contents of the kit, and we're going to talk about all of the ways that you can use the products included. And we did something a little bit different this month. It is not a card making kit. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to make you wait a little bit longer to tell you what is the kit this month if it's not a card making kit. Of course, it can be used for card making because that is primarily what we do, but this time of year we also are creating for some other purposes. So I'm excited to share all of that with you. Let's see who we've got on today. If I pull up my comments here, I have a nice big screen off to my left that we have positioned so that I can see your comments a little bit better. Good morning, Dawn Daly and Dawn Guy. Hello, April in Houston. Hi, Ann out in New York. Debbie's here from South Dakota. Good morning, Jamie. Good to see you here today. Looks like Charlie's here linking up the kit for you guys so you can find it easily in the comments as well. So let me just give you a quick personal update, really quick. We had back to school last week and we sent all the kids off on Friday for one day of school and then we had a weekend. So our back to school wasn't without some tears. Henry cried and was a little bit clingy getting on the bus that first day, but the teacher said he did really well once he got there. The girls, of course, were excited and much easier to get out the door than in the past. They are getting older and taking care of themselves, getting ready in the morning, and some of those things that girls start to be concerned with as they get older, like they both got up early and curled their hair. I could hardly believe it. So I feel like we're entering a new phase of life with them. But yeah, then we had a little bit of a setback. So Henry has been sick the past couple of days. Pretty sure he's got an ear infection, so he hasn't been back on the bus yet. So hopefully we can get him there tomorrow, hoping that he pulls through this. We've got an appointment today to hopefully get that figured out. So that was our back to school experience. If you want to share yours in the comments, I would love to hear it. Maybe you have kids or grandkids you've had going back to school and all the things that brings with it, emotions and all the stuff. So hopefully everybody's settling into a new routine as we kind of transition out of summer. So let's see, we've got, hi Heather, Nancy. Heather's here to talk about the kit that she designed today. So glad you're here to see it get launched. Hello, Anne Marie. Amrita's here and Lisa. Oh, thank you guys for the get well wishes for Henry. All right, should we take a look at the samples from this kit? I know that is one of the big things you guys love to see on these lives. So I'm gonna first pop up a graphic so that you can see what this kit looks like. And we are launching the Tombstone Treats Kit today. So this is something a little bit different for us. We've never done a kit that was specifically designed to create treats. Now, can you create card projects with these items? You sure can. So there's lots of versatility, but we're going to talk about some of the things we put in this kit specifically for creating those Halloween treats. I love to give, obviously we've talked about how much I love Halloween. So Halloween treats are one of my favorite things, and I love to think about giving them to neighbors and trick-or-treaters, co-workers, teachers, and these are super easy. I think that's one of the important things about treat making, at least for me. I want it to be simple. I don't want to spend a ton of time creating something that is probably the candy's just going to get eaten out of it and it might get tossed away. So making it super cute and fun without making it time consuming. So that's what this is all about. Let me start. I'm going to kind of swipe these by the screen as I take them off to the side, and we're going to talk about the contents of the kit, and then I will share the different projects that were created using these products. And I have something to share. I went Halloween candy shopping the other day. I made a little extra time in my grocery run to make it down the Halloween candy aisle, and it was all my dreams came true. No, actually I can't say all my dreams came true because I didn't find the Albanese gummies that I was looking for yet. Those have remained elusive, but I will find them. I did find some other treats that I'm going to share with you today that I am equally excited about. But first, let's talk about the Tombstone Treats Kit. So because this is a treat kit, it is in a little bit smaller pouch than you normally receive. So our normal pouches are, I believe, 9 by 13 inches. And this one here is about 9 by 7. About a 7 by 9 pouch. Zipper pouch, has the sticker on the front so that you can see kind of the idea of the kit. It's a great way to store the items in your kit. And we wanted to keep this one really at a great price point. So $49. Typically our kits are between the kind of $65 to $80 range, I would say. But this one at $49 is a really kind of inexpensive way to get everything you need to make Halloween treats and not feel like you broke the bank, but you made something fun and unique for treat gifting. So in order to do that, what we did was we designed this box. So this is the Treats and Trinkets box. Heather designed this as a favor box of sorts, and in the kit you will get 20 of these die cut boxes. Actually, I said die cut, however, this is something I specifically wanted to talk about. These are actually laser cut, and I am just going to be the first to tell you I am loving how the laser cuts these favor boxes. When you look at the box itself, it looks like there are no score lines, so you don't get that impression into your cardstock. It's just a nice thin etch line. And then watch this as I fold this. It's gonna fold so easy. I'm using one finger, you guys, and just folding that box together, which is gonna make creating these, again, so much more quick and simple than taking out your bone folder and creasing those score lines and all of that. So when you purchase the kit, you get 20 of these in the kit, and they are pre-cut for you from our black licorice cardstock. So that's our super intense cardstock, black cardstock color. So that is the favor box that was designed then to work with this die set. This is called the Point of No Return, and you get a couple of tombstones that are designed to fit over the top of this box. So you can actually adhere them to the front of the box to create that treat box that looks like a tombstone. Then you have some extra labels to put sentiments on the inside of the tombstones, and you have the cross if you wanted to add that to kind of sticking out the top in the center or off to the side, however you like to envision that. And these are super cool because we have some of those etch details in there. So again, another thing that will simplify your crafting is a lot of those details are already cut in just by running it through your machine. You don't have to do the extra step of stamping or embossing those details. They're just already there for you. So that is the Point of No Return. Let's see, Linda's asking, can you buy the boxes alone? Yes, we will talk about that when we talk about the items that come outside of the kit. So if you're loving these boxes, we do have them available outside of the kit as well if you're wanting to add on, and we'll talk about those when I get to the extra items. So continuing on with the items that are in the kit, in order to, if you wanted to add extra decoration to your tombstones, we have this set that Heather designed called Creepy Companions. It includes this crow, and then we have a little skull and a cute little ghost. So you'll see in a lot of the samples how the design team used these. You can kind of perch that crow on top of the tombstone. You can put the skeleton down at the base of the tombstone, and then of course that ghost kind of floating up behind the tombstone as well. So that's creepy companions. And then to add sentiments to your treat boxes, we have this set. This one is called Treats to Die For. There is a sentiment in this set that says Treats to Die For. We have Death by Chocolate. That one is kind of a fun one. Open If You Dare, Trick or Treat, Spooky Sweets, Boo to You, a very sweet ending, Treat Yourself, Which Way to the Candy. So lots of good sentiments in this clear set. So that is it for the contents of this kit. The 20 boxes, 2 die sets, and the sentiments. And then all fits inside this pouch. So let's get to some of the questions you guys were asking, and we're going to talk about the items that are available outside of the kit. Okay, so we have, as you requested, the Treats and Trinkets pre-cut boxes are available in the black licorice color. This is the only color that's available in pre-cut boxes, and there are 10 of them in each of these packages. So you get 20 in your kit, and then 10 can be purchased outside of the kit, only available in the black licorice, and these will only be stocked through Halloween. So this is not a product that we plan to keep around in this colorway, except through the Halloween season. So there is that option. Now, if you want maximum versatility and you want to be able to cut as many boxes as you want in whatever color you want, then this is available outside of the kit. This is the Treats and Trinket box, and this one does have our traditional score lines on it. And those, as I mentioned, the laser cut boxes fold super quickly and easily. These still fold really nicely. So don't worry that you won't have a good experience if you're getting this box. I think we're all used to the way these boxes go together, and that'll be a really nice, nicely folded box for you as well. And the plus is that you get to pick whatever color you want. So I'm going to show you some samples that we made for other occasions and holidays that you might think about getting the box and being able to cut whatever color you want. Hey, Whit, since you're in here, I think your computer disconnected and the comments kind of went away from the TV. Okay. Thank you. All right, last, apart from the kit, this is the last item that is sold separately, and this is called Foil It Dead to Me. And it is a set of really funny kind of headstone markers, I guess you would call them, with some funny names on them that you can foil if you choose, or you can leave them black, and then cut them out with the label dies that are part of the Point of No Return die set. So these dies here are designed to cut out the names if you choose. So we've got just a couple of them. I'm a Goner, we have Dug Down Deep, Is He Dead? Oh, no. Noah Escape. So use your imagination as you get through these. They're kind of fun and funny. There's, we have 2 different pieces in this one, so you get 6 of each of those. There's, let's see, You'll Be Next, Ted and Buried, I'll Be Back. I love that one too. So these are different than what comes in the stamp set. So the stamp set and the kit, they are more treat based. These would be great for treats as well, but could also be used on cards if you choose to make cards with these. All right, so those are the items that are available outside of the kit. Now let's take a look at some of the samples, which is the best part.
I'll save my eeks.
What are you saving them for? I want them now. All right, let's talk about the boxes first. So if you're thinking about making these for treats, these are all treat boxes. So all of these are attached to a box. We have some boxes in different colors because the design team members, they receive the die and they cut these out of whatever color they chose. So Some of these may not be black boxes, but they are all the Treats and Trinkets box, and there are lots of different ways you can choose to decorate these. You can see their use of the die set, the creepy companions. We've got the skull, the ghost, the fun sentiments. Many of them are embossed with black sparkle embossing powder. I'm going to use that when we craft together today because it's just too perfect not to use it with these. And then some of them are just the foilet panel as well. So there's a few options. Couple more here. I know Heather, we have Mindy up on the YouTube channel today with a card and treat box. And then, actually, I don't think, Heather, you have the video on Thursday. I think that it is, I think Joy is up with a video on Thursday, and she'll be making another Halloween treat box along with a different theme to show you how you can create other treat boxes for holidays other than Halloween. But Heather created these with the set that she designed. You can see she brought in this pumpkin die, which is from the Layering Pumpkins set, which looks really cute. Adds a little pop of color from the gray and black and white color combo. All right, then we've got a couple that do have quite a lot of color on them. I love this one. Jill used, I think this is Brussels sprout cardstock, or it might be jalapeno, actually, now that I look at it. Whoop, dropped that one. But I love that color and how she put little flowers on it to kind of cheer it up, brighten it up just a little bit. And then we've got this one. Do you know who created this one? Was it Lori?
Lori!
Did Lori do that one? And she kind of created little tabs on the back that can adhere these pieces that poke up behind the back of the tombstone. So I thought that was fun too. And of course, it's still easy to open these treat boxes up. You just pop the top and put your treats inside. Now, we haven't talked much about what fits inside of these, so let's talk about that because it's my favorite subject, Halloween candy. All right, I've got a couple of boxes here. So this one on the left, Sue, who works here in our offices, created this amazing treat box, which inspired the treat box over here that we'll be making on the live today. I loved how she used the moon and kind of nested that behind the tombstone. It adds that pop of color. It's really fun touch there. She did lots of splatter on this, added a couple of the skulls. We have the cross down here that's highlighted with some of our cosmic drip drops, another great Halloween addition. And then she added our iridescent glitter paste over the top of the moon to kind of give it some shimmer and shine. I was inspired by that, so I have this purple moon here that I stamped with our bats in the background, and we're going to be blending this and creating it as we get to crafting in a little bit here. So I'll give you some of the tips and ideas for creating this, but let me show you what's inside my treat box because I went to the store, as I mentioned, and I found the most perfect little treat boxes. Or treats for the treat box. Look at those. They're little Reese's skeletons. How perfect.
They're adorable.
You have a little skeleton inside of your tombstone box. I think it's
the perfect size for my mouth.
Yes, it's like the pop it. You know, you don't have to eat it in multiple bites. You just throw it in and chomp it up.
And it looks like it has more peanut butter than their regular one.
It is a little thicker.
I always love that. Like when it has a little extra peanut butter, I'm like, ooh.
I feel like there's a group that chooses to have the most peanut butter and then one that wants more chocolate. So
True.
Reese's just keeps coming out with more options, and some of them have more peanut butter and some of them have more chocolate. So those are, let me show you the packaging in case you want to check these out. Reese's Peanut Butter Skeletons is what these came from. And there's different colors. This one is wrapped in like a black foil, but then there's yellow and then there's purple. I think those are the three colors that are in there. And they fit just perfectly inside this little box. Can you see my little skelly down there in the bottom? 4 of them will stack up in this box. So I thought that was super fun and just the perfect little treat for these boxes. Of course, there are lots of other things. If you wanted to even, maybe you have smaller grandchildren that aren't candy eaters yet and they want maybe a pack of fruit snacks. A pack of fruit snacks can be folded up and put in here, or a couple of fun-sized candy bars. If you have Snickers bars, you can fit those, 2 of those side by side in this box. So there's really just so many options for putting different treats in here. And we called it the Treats and Trinkets box because why not put a trinket in? So you could put bouncy balls, or trying to think of maybe you're packaging up a gift like Susan gives her sets of earrings and stuff. You could put that in here with a little bit of tissue paper as well. So since we're still on the topic of the box, let's take a look at some other options for different holidays that you might create for. Susan created this super cute set of fall themed boxes. These would be great little table decorations, or kind of put a thankful mix inside, you know, the candy corn and bugles and that kind of thing. That would be yummy inside of here. And she's got them tied up with a little Just For You tag on the top. These use our tag, what is it called? The Autumn Squad, I believe, that create these 3 different critters. We've got the fox, the moose, and the fawn. Whoop, and there went the moose. So that is another super cute way that you can cut these out of any color if you have the die and create something with that.
Woodland Squad.
Woodland Squad. Okay, I had the wrong word.
Close.
All right, then we have this one. So I made this box. I know we've got lots of gnome fans out there, and I thought this would be super cute way. The gnome fits just perfectly on the front of the box, so you can create this for pretty much any holiday or occasion that we have a gnome for. I think for Christmas, little gnome Santa on the front would be a really cute way to give a gift, and you can just tuck that flap in, and super, super cute.
So cute. You
Love
could
it.
put a set of earrings in there, or a little necklace. I know my girls, they would love that.
Farley says, I must find those Reese's skeletons. Going to Target today. Well, I know you don't live in this neck of the woods, but for anyone looking around here, or maybe I should go get more skeletons before I tell everyone where to get the skeletons. No, if you're looking around these parts, if you have Hy-Vee near you, that's where I found it, which is our local grocery chain, Hy-Vee. Okay, you guys, I promised that you could also use this kit to make cards. And so I love versatility when it comes to our products. So not only can you create great treats for Halloween, you can also use these kit products to create some really fun cards. So let's just take a look at what some of the design team has done. This is so cute. I love this. Who made this one? That just came in the mail.
Jen Schultz.
Jen! I love it, Jen. So cute. I love this background that you blended here, that glow that you got in the middle, and the little label that you chose. I think that's my favorite one from the set. It says, "Here lies Phil Dirt." Funny. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's funny, but I love it. Let's take a look at these. We have these that Heather created. She used the bats from our new spook-tacular split stamp, and I thought that turned out super fun, how she stamped those tone on tone in the background. There you can see the layer it pumpkins down at the bottom of the tombstones. That turned out really fun. We've got glitter cardstock spiders. I think the only way to make those spiders look cute is to cut them out of glitter cardstock. So love that. All right, we've got another creative blend here from Jill. I think this one is fun. Again, she used that, it looks like jalapeno is the color that she used for her tombstone. We've got the little grouping of flowers to match what she did on her favor box. So you could even do a cute little treat and card combo. Let's take a look at what Sue created, and she got super creative with some of our past products that we've released. So let's take a look at this one. There are so many details on this fun card that I can't I probably can't point all of them out, so I'll point out a few of my favorite things that she did here. This background is amethyst watercolor foil. So you can see it is sparkling and shining. I think that's super fun. She's got the haunted mansion that she cut out. And I thought the windows, how she did the windows. Let me pull this up really close. Do you guys see that texture behind all of the windows? I was asking her how she did that, and she actually took the tape runner, just your normal Scotch tape runner. Do you see how there's a pattern to the dots on the tape? Right here, it shows you what that tape looks like when it comes out. Well, she applied that to vellum, and we all know you can see adhesive through vellum, and in this case, that's a good thing, because when you adhere that vellum over the top of the light purple, it darkens wherever the adhesive was and creates that fun texture that she used in all of the windows. So I thought those were a couple of really fun details, lots of glitter and sparkle in this one for sure. Then we've got this one where she took kind of a technique that we showed recently, and she showed it in a new way. So a while back, Susan had showed you how you can blend on our glitter cardstock. And so this is actually the spider web stencil blended onto white glitter cardstock. Now the glitter is part of the cardstock. It doesn't shed on the bristles of your brush, which makes that a really fun technique to do and really kind of gives so much sparkle to your project. So then again, she's got the creepy companions that she put inside of that door die that we just did for Halloween. It's called Another Door Opens, and she kind of tucked those down in there. They don't actually open, but she has them sort of highlighted with a little bit of shadow using another color cardstock. So I thought that turned out really cute too. All right, this one, Lori, so creative. I loved all the pairings that you put into this card. We've got last year's trick-or-treat border. We've got those cute little trick-or-treaters down at the bottom, and they're kind of tiptoeing through the graveyard, which I think looks so cute. She has the bats in the background. Be Afraid is the name on the tombstone, and then she just used a circle mask to blend a white moon up in the sky. I think that turned out so cute. I love that you use those trick-or-treaters because I had kind of thought about bringing them back with this and never had a chance, so I'm glad you showed how they look with this collection. And then we've got this one. Is this Lori too? No, I don't know. It's black on the back, but it is super fun. I have to train myself to know whose cards are whose before I come on. But this one has the foilet that is foiled in orange on each of those tombstones, and I think the stars in the background are part of our Halloween stars and sparkles. And
ooh,
I think that turned out.
Yes.
Yes. Do you guys see that shine in the background? That's our, what did we call that? Unicorn mist, or the shimmer spray that we have. So the background is blended and then sprayed with that shimmer spray. I think that turned out so fun. So many ideas, again, that you can use to make cards or the treat boxes. I hope that you're feeling inspired to get crafty for treat giving this Halloween, because I think that's another way we can just kind of make an impression with the people that we love and show them how much they mean to us by giving them something special. Okay, I have a couple more samples. These are tags that Heather created. If you're making maybe a bigger treat box or something, or a basket for grandkids or something like that, you could tie a little tag on them using these tombstones. And then, Whitney, can I ask you to turn on the air?
Yes.
Oh, I'm feeling extra hot today.
It's because we're talking about candy.
It has been super hot here lately. I think we may have set a record yesterday for heat, but I am just feeling it today. So thank you. All right, one last card. And this one, I'm going to warn you, it has nothing to do with the kit. But I made this on Friday, and I've just been excited to share it. I've had this idea in my head since we released these drinks earlier this summer. I wanted to make them Halloween drinks. So here's what I did, using some of those little elements from the cauldron confetti with our 5 O'Clock Somewhere stamp set and blended those drinks in Halloween colors. And then here for the booze, I have that sentiment from a new set this year that I thought was so fun. So I'll get this posted somewhere, but you know how, I know you guys will understand. When you make something, you're just like tickled and you want to share it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a reason to share it, but I was like, I have to share it. So there's my share moment for today. All right, let me remind you where we are headed. We're gonna create this little treat box today, and I'm going to start by blending that layered moon stencil. Whitney, you're gonna have to remind me the name of the stencil. I have the number. It's 294, but I can't remember the name of this. Moonlight or something along those lines. It is a 3-layer stencil.
Moonlight layering stencil.
I was right. Moonlight layering stencil. I should trust myself more. Okay. It does have the alignment guides, but I think as long as we blend this solid circle, it should be pretty easy to line up with the next layers. So I'm going to tack this paper down. We are going to end up die cutting this, so I'm not too concerned about where the moon lands on the cardstock. I just need a piece big enough to hold it. All right. Thank you, Beth, for not making me feel silly for sharing my share moments. All right, so our first stencil layer is going to be our lightest color. This is the kind of base of the moon, and I have lavender glaze ink. This is not, I know you guys are kind of wondering what happened to Taylor. I'm using a lot of purple lately. My nails are purple. I think with the introduction of so many new purples into our collection, it has become a favorite of mine. So did I just say favorite? I think I did. I know, we can't tease Taylor about purple anymore because I do use it quite often, actually. So we're gonna go ahead and blend this lightest color over the whole open circle. You know what? I heard about that. Shell said that we had a story on the news yesterday about maturing sweet corn can release up to 4 cups of moisture a day per stalk of corn. They did some story about, you know, humidity in Iowa and how it affects the corn and what it causes the corn to do. And they did some calculations about how many billions of gallons of water corn can produce when it's hot. Isn't that strange? I never knew that before. Anyway, fun fact from Shell. All right, so that was layer 1. And layer 2 is going to be macaron. So we'll get layer 2 of the stencil. It is the slightly more detailed one. And again, it should be easy to see the outline of the stencil. You shouldn't need those alignment squares, but they are there if they make you feel better. All right. Tack this down and we'll do this.
Wasn't it just the other night you were saying to me, look at the moon. It looks exactly like our moonlight layering.
I did. Oh my goodness. I was over at Whitney's house and the kids were playing outside and we looked up and said, look at the beautiful moon. And the more I looked at it, I said, it looks just like our layering stencil. You could kind of see the, I don't know if you call them craters in the moon, or you could just see the shadows over the moon. Everybody's saying where they replaced Taylor. Check on Taylor. Whitney, you're funny. The real Taylor's at Hy-Vee buying candy. No guys, it's me. I'm here. Okay, then the last layer of the stencil is this kind of the least detailed one. Make sure I'm keeping those details in the opening of the that we've already blended. Tack this down, and then the final color is the darkest. I am going to do a light-handed blend of this Concord Grape. So Concord Grape is another new purple that we've added since I started my love of purple. And it's really kind of got some blue tones to it, almost a royal bluish purple, a blurple. I think that's where I've determined my love of purple is in blurple. We'll see, maybe I'll start wearing purple too.
Gas.
I know, right? Okay, so there's Concord Grape. Then let's take this off. You can see that fun moon. Now I'm going to die cut this first, but you can see in my sample that's over here, once we die cut it, we're gonna hit the edges with blue corn. That's gonna give it a little bit more of a spooky look than this kind of bright purple that I have right now. But I do wanna die cut that first. So I'm going to grab my circle stacklet dies and we'll bring in the die cut machine as well. Let's see if I can guess which circle it is. Looks like that's the right one. Okay, tack this down. Send it through. Okay, there's our moon. Again, a super fun option if you want to do this with yellow inks. You can see Sue's, and one of the things that she did that I thought was fun was she started with potato chip cardstock, and then she only used 2 layers of the stencil. So you could do that as well if you start with the base color, the lightest color of cardstock, and then layer the darker colors on top of that. That's another option if you're looking to speed things along or just give you a little bit different look. Okay, let's get our blue corn ink out and we'll finish off this moon and then move on to the next step here. So we'll take and add that darkest color. And I like to rotate my die cut as I'm pulling this in from the edges. Just kind of gives me the control that I want and make sure I'm hitting all of those edges equally. Just kind of shifting that as I go around. I like to keep the center of the moon kind of bright so it glows a little bit, but you can see that adding that blue corn color gave us a little bit more of that spooky moon look. Let's quickly wipe off the ink from my work surface here. And adhesive that I think we're done with. Beth, good question. I did. So on the back of my treat box, it is just white. On the back of Sue's, it's yellow, which is maybe another reason to go for that colored cardstock. I've got some adhesive that I need to take off of here with my adhesive eraser, but yes, my moon is just white on the back. Okay, so here's that. Let's go ahead and blend. I have one of the tombstones that I die cut from poppy seed cardstock. This is kind of the color one shade lighter than black, and I like to use that when I know I want to get a little bit of dimension so that I can use black ink to blend in from the sides of the tombstone. So we'll do that. All right, we'll keep the center, kind of the the color of the cardstock so that it has a little bit of a glow to it. And then we're going to splatter or spatter, whatever you choose. Let me get my splatter all set up and then I'll bring in my splatter box. So I'm using a couple of different splatters. I wanted to use both white and black. So I have my Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star and the Bleed Proof White. I'll go ahead and put the Black Star on first. This one has a little eyedropper that comes with it, and it's more of a liquid. You do not need to mix it with any water. I just put 3 or 4 drops out there. Then I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and this one is more of a paint-like medium that you'll want to grab a little bit out with a brush, and you can just put that down on your block. And then this one, you do need to activate it with water in order for it to be splatterable. And a couple drops of water there and just mix it with the paintbrush. Now, if you're doing both black and white splatter, I would recommend using 2 different brushes because that black is pretty, it stays in your brush until you bring it to a sink and actually wash it out. So I have 2 different brushes, and I'll bring in my splatter box then. Hopefully I don't get any splatter on anything other than the box.
Yeah, because Whitney will be upset.
Whitney will find it later and be like, why do we have splatter on all these cameras? Okay, let's do white first. So I've got my paintbrush loaded up with the splatter, and then we'll go ahead and just start to tap it down onto the tombstone. And then I'll go ahead with the black. Now this one is going to be less noticeable, but I like to do a little bit of both. I think it just adds that extra dimension to the project, makes it look more aged and realistic. Okay, now let me pull this out and we will dry that off, or let that dry. It doesn't take too long. As we finish creating the rest of the portions of the project, I think it will be dry by the time we're ready to assemble. Okay, next I am going to grab my Spooky Season die set and the moon. We are going to stamp the bats kind of coming up the side of the moon, and I'll be embossing those with the black sparkle embossing powder. I have my Misty here. Okay. And I am going to position these kind of so this part up here with the tiny bats is right up towards the top kind of center of the moon. And then I can hold that in place with my magnet. I'll go ahead and pick that up. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of our clear alignment panels. Let me put a little bit of adhesive. I think I have a little bit, but maybe not enough. I want some adhesive down there to make sure that stays in place. And I'm going to take one of our clear alignment panels. Just want to make extra sure that when I stamp this down that the bats are actually going where I would like them to. So I'm going to stamp onto the grid or the clear alignment. It doesn't have a grid on it, but there are some in the package that do have grids so that you can line up sentiments and things like that. All right, pull that up here and you can see I have those bats perfectly where I want them. And I'm going to keep that where it's at. And we need to powder. I know that some people have rules about not powdering in their Misty. Not a bad rule to have, because I've seen some accidents before where the powder gets into the base of the Misty. But one of the ways that we prevent that with our powder tool is just to make sure that we have this little bit of washi tape that kind of decorates our powder tool, and that keeps the closure between the rim where it unscrews so that you can refill it. So just a little tip. It's okay to powder in your MISTI if you have protected your powder tool. Okay. I'm going to bring in my embossing powder and we'll stamp one more time. I'm using VersaFine Clair ink, and this particular ink is a pigment, so it stays wet longer and allows you to emboss with embossing powder using this ink. So we're going to go ahead and dump the black sparkle on top of these stamped bats. Kind of depends how fancy you want to get with your project. You don't have to do these steps, all of them. You could just stamp the bats in black and leave it as is, but sparkly bats are kind of fun too. So let's go ahead and heat that up. Can't forget my mini mitts.
Those mini mitts, man.
So helpful, right? When you have a little piece like this that's already die cut and you're trying to heat it, you don't want to burn your fingers. It's what we use to craft, so save yourself. And all right. Use your mini mitts. They're made of silicone, so they will protect your fingers from the heat as you heat with your embossing gun. Sparkly black bats up the moon. I love it. Holly says those bats remind me of Scooby-Doo.
I was thinking that.
Oh, yes. Okay, so let's set that aside and go ahead with our sentiment. So I'm going to grab some silver foil cardstock. I have my stamp set from the kit. We're going to use Death by Chocolate, which is going to be the perfect sentiment for my little Reese's skeletons. And, all right. So we're going to do something different on this, and this was a trick that I learned from Sue. I think she was the first to show me this idea. But we have our foil cardstock that is mirrored. You can see as I hold it up to the light, you can kind of see reflection in it. And when you're doing these types of Halloween projects where you want it to be a little bit spooky, here is a little tip for burnishing your foil cardstock and making it look like a matte finish cardstock. I'm only going to do it on half of the piece here because we only need a little piece for our project, but I have our sanding block here, and I'm actually going to go in a crosshatch motion and just apply a little bit of pressure with the sanding block, and you're going to see this kind of roughen up and create a fun texture, but also it's going to create a kind of a matte finish look to the cardstock. I'm trying to get it in the right light so you can see that difference there, but let me go the other direction so that it's kind of roughed up in both directions, and you have sort of a fun, almost a galvanized metal looking over here, and then you have your perfectly shiny over on the other side. It also allows it to be stamped on a little bit easier. So I am going to stamp my sentiment directly onto this piece. We're going to emboss it with the same embossing powder we used for the bats, the black sparkle. So let me grab all the things that I need again. Could you get me an acrylic block? I'm sorry.
Medium-sized one?
Whatever size. Small, medium, preferably not large. That's great. Okay, I'm just going to do this with an acrylic block instead of putting this out in the Misty. I've got my Death by Chocolate. We're going to use our powder tool again on this side of the cardstock, which we can burnish or we can kind of buff off at the end. Got the VersaFine Clear ink again, and we'll stamp this down in the center. So doing that technique on the cardstock gives it just a little bit of extra tooth, and that's a word in the kind of cardstock world that's used to describe like texture, or tooth gives it like just a little bit of resistance, I guess. It's not super smooth, and that allows you to stamp it without your stamp kind of moving around and mushing your words. Hopefully my words aren't mushing in your brain, because words are hard sometimes. Hopefully that explanation makes sense, but it not only gives it a fun Halloween-y texture and appearance, but it also helps with your stamping. So there's Death by Chocolate. I'll grab my heat tool and we'll heat that. All right, then we'll go ahead and die cut that sentiment as well. Oh, that's a fun tip. I'll have to try that, Candy. Candy says on foil paper, if you spray alcohol on the paper, it will look like galvanized metal as well. So that's a fun little tip too. Okay, we're gonna use this die to cut out the Death by Chocolate, and then I think we'll have almost all the pieces we need to put our scene together. I have the ghost that's pre-cut, but I'm also going to bring in some of our, I mentioned this one a couple weeks ago, stock up on this, our black glossy cardstock. This little circle that's in the Creepy Companion die is designed to fit behind the ghost eyes and mouth. So you can easily make those whatever color you want. And in this case, I kind of like the look of glossy black. So we're gonna cut that at the same time. This one I'm going to tape down. I don't want to live on the edge with my perfectly embossed sentiment. Okay. Candy says not all foil paper works for that alcohol technique, and she hasn't tried it with our foil paper yet. So I can try that out and report back. Okay, so there's our little Tombstone label and the black circle of cardstock. We'll do that part first. I'm going to take and apply my adhesive around the ghost's eyes and mouth. And we'll adhere that down. Just like that. Then we have this. What did I do with my box? Here's my, nope, that's not my box. I think I put it back away in the kit. So I folded this for you a little bit earlier, but it comes together so simply. The way that I like to kind of start the adhering process is with this long strip here. And you can do this with sticky tape if you have that, like a 1/4 inch is the perfect size for that. I'm using just a regular tape runner. You can also use liquid glue. Then I would fold this down flat and kind of fold over the front of the box, which is going to meet up perfectly with that side flap. So that's how you know you have it perfectly squared up and adhered, because it should lay completely flat as you're adhering it. Now the bottom of the box, you can fold this little flap up, and if you want to, you can just tuck it in and it stays pretty well, but if you want to add some extra adhesive on there just to make sure it stays closed, you can do that too. And then there's another flap on the top that you can just fold over, tuck in. We have that little loop here. It's kind of hard to see. There it is. That little loop that allows you to get your finger in there and easily pull open the lid. All right, let's put some adhesive on the back of this. I want to put my moon on here first, so I'm kind of sizing this up to see where I want my moon to sit with those bats coming. And then we'll go ahead and tack this down. Just like that. A little bit of death by chocolate on the front then, and I'm going to do that with some foam tape. And then I'll finish it off with the ghost. Oh, good. Candy helped me out. She did it while I've been live and tested out the foil cardstock, and spraying it with alcohol does work. So that's fun. Okay, we've got that. Then now let's tuck our little ghost kind of coming up into the moon and off to the side of the tombstone. And I think I'll go ahead and put a little piece of foam tape on it as well.
This little ghosty reminds me of Casper.
It does. He's a happy little ghost.
He's a happy little ghost.
All right. Pop that up on top. I think that looks good right about there. He's kind of filling the open space on the left side where the bats are not. Ta-da! Super simple. It was fun to add a few extra details to this, but really you can keep them very simple. Without the moon, these would be really fast to create as mass-produced little treat boxes. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're feeling inspired. Let me come back here and give you a little update on what's to come this week, which we've got some fun. Whitney, you might have to remind me who is live this week.
Heather!
Heather! Yay! Okay, so Heather will be joining you on Thursday for the live. I think she's going to be using her kit. Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Good. Then Heather will be teaching you more tips and tricks for this Tombstone Treats Kit on Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Time, so mark your calendars for that. And then I will be back next week. It's September.
Woo!
I can't believe it. I know. We are doing, so next week is Labor Day, so we are closed on Monday, and Tuesday will seem like my Monday, but we are going live, so I will plan on seeing you guys next week on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. All right, everybody, have a